The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Game junkie, Gerard Campbell.
Is he alive? Isaac Clarke. I'm going to show you some images, and I want you to tell me about them.
It was just a short boat. So much shit in my head. Why did the sail off the West Bay? Where are you going? It's not over.
Oh, what is this nightmare going on here? Well, it's called Dead Space 2, the follow-up to Dead Space. Gerard Campbell's with us to figure out if it's any good. Gerard, good morning.
Good morning, Wammo. How are you today?
Not bad. Boy, that's a nightmarish trailer for a game.
Oh, there's lots of gore in this one, I tell you.
Yeah. So Dead Space 1, fill us in. When did that one come out? And what was it about?
Dead Space 1 was, clutching at straws here a couple of years ago, maybe. And it was involved that the main hero was a guy called Isaac Clarke, who was like a worker on a really deep space mining spaceship. They go out and they mined planets and that sort of thing. And the ship was called the Ishimura, and it was overrun by an alien virus which created these things called necromorphs, which is that the virus reanimated all these dead human corpses. And so it, limbs and tentacles and spiky things and weird-shaped mouths. And Clarke had to fight through these guys and save the day.
Yeah.
And it was really good because it was a really strong survival horror. I remember playing it that, I'd inch down the corridors, and sometimes you'd just sort of wait beside a door for a couple of minutes, thinking, do I want to go in there? Because what's going to jump out and get me?
Yeah.
So it did a really good job of setting that horror scene.
So do things really leap out at you really fast?
Yeah, well, because you've got this in the first one. You've got this dark, shadowy spaceship with tight corridors and flashing lights and lights that go off, and necromorphs will jump from the ceilings and they'll smash out of walls, and and Dead Space 2 really continues that. But this time it's on a huge, big, sprawling metropolis called the Sprawl, which is sort of built on one of the moons of Saturn. And Isaac Clarke wakes up in the mental asylum on the Sprawl, and it's 3 years later from the first game.
Yeah.
And necromorphs again have infiltrated the Sprawl, and this virus has infiltrated, and there's necromorphs everywhere. And there's a few government shadowy plots. There's this strange religion called unitology, which may or may not be Scientology based. We don't know.
Right.
And this time, it seems to be a lot more action based than the first one. And the key thing, though, is the dismemberment of the necromorphs. Because these things are shambling and running, and if you do body shots with them, and you get a variety of weapons, as you go on, you can pick up ammo and power ups. If you give them body shots, then that's only going to slow them down. It's not going to actually damage them much. You've actually got to strategically dismember their limbs. To stop them coming towards you. So, if there's a huge big one coming towards you, you want to shoot them shoot an arm off so they slump, or a leg, or a tail, and that sort of thing. And then once they're on the ground, you can stomp them, or you can swap them, that sort of thing. And there's blood everywhere. There's blood and bits of bloody flesh all over the place.
Yeah.
And you've also got something that really impressed me about Dead Space 2 is that there's no most. This is a third-person game. Most action titles or whatever have you have your heads-up display on the screen, which will show you how much ammo you've got left, how much health you've got on a health bar. In Dead Space 2, you can tell your health by how many bars Clarke has got on there's like a meter on the back of his suit running down his spine.
Oh.
So if that's full and green,
yeah,
he's good health. But if there's only one bar left and it's really low and yellow, then heck, he's low on health. And the same thing with your ammo count. It's not on the screen. When you pull up your weapon, you'll see there's a hologram on your weapon that shows you how much ammo you've got left. And if you want to see the objectives, he pulls up his left arm and it shows a hologram on his arm that shows you where objective is, or where a save point is, or whatever. So it's really, and it creates a lot more immersion. It's very immersive, and this time too, Isaac Clarke can speak. He didn't speak in the first Dead Space.
So that's quite cool, because it gives you that real estate that would normally be taken up on the screen with those kind of with the indicators, life indicators, and ammo indicators.
It does, and it adds a lot more. You think, this is what it would be like, in a futuristic sort of environment. It adds more to that immersion, there's lots of flickering lights, and the audio is brilliant. The audio is actually really atmospheric. You'll be, especially if you have your home theatre surround sound on. You'll be wandering through this sort of dimly lit room with lights flashing, and you'll hear noise behind you, and you don't know what it is. And there's one part that you go into a room, and it's a laundry. Because the sprawl is like a city, so it's got laundries and childcare centres and churches and cafeterias and stuff. You go into a laundry, and there's one of the washing machines or dryers is bouncing around, so you don't know whether there's something in it, whether there's what. So it does a really good job in, creating a tense, atmospheric environment. But if you're squeamish, or if your mum's squeamish, don't play it in front of your mum.
So have you been scared out of your wits?
No, because I don't think it doesn't actually seem as scary as the first one.
Because there is an advertising campaign, though, there isn't there with it's kind of a viral advertising campaign where kids are playing it in front of their parents, or getting their parents to try and play it, and they're all freaking out.
Yes, I think that was the EA's. I think it was something along the lines of, your mum won't like this, or your mom won't like this. And I think what EA did was that they showed, a whole lot of the gory kills and clips to these mums, and they were looking horrified, and that's appalling, and and so it's certainly gory. It's very gory, shooting limbs off and stomping on things, and some of the kills you can do. But I think because it seems to be more action orientated, sometimes I almost felt sometimes that I could anticipate that, or something's going to jump out here, or a light's going to go out, there's certain points in the game that you'll come to a door. The door won't open, and a voice will say, "Oh, door malfunction, please wait." So okay, necromorphs are going to jump out, and they do. 4 or 5 come out and get you, and that sort of thing. So, it's perhaps not as scary as the first one, but it's certainly more action orientated. But they've done a brilliant job of moving the series forward and really creating a tense and atmospheric survival horror, which is really, really well done. And that's aided by the fact that there is no clutter on your screen. There's no huge big bar showing you how much health you've got left and how many pickups you've picked up and that sort of thing. So it's really well done, very well done.
Okay, and what platforms?
360, PC, and a PS3, and obviously it's R-rated with the content on it. So don't play it with your 2-year-old in front or something.
Indeed,
would be good. They might have nightmares. Daddy, what's that?
Hey, cool. Thanks very much, Gerard.
Not a problem. You have a good week.
You too. Stuff.co.nz in the technology section is where you'll find him hanging out with the blog there, and also on Twitter as well, twitter.com/GameJunkieNZ.